Hi, this is Ennis from Never Stop Trucking. We are talking about a way of surviving this trucking crisis in United States in 2022. I'm not a financial expert, therefore this advice is just something that I wanted to carry on to everyone else. It doesn't have to mean that it's perfect. I try to do most of it, and depending on your situation, you might be able to do at least some of these things. Okay, so as we all know, the trucking industry has been going down since around the end of winter this year, and then it has been steadily going down and down and down. On top of that, we have high fuel prices, high diesel prices, and we have low freight prices, and the maintenance costs and everything else that's included in trucking, insurance, driver pay, all that has been going up. Okay, and a lot of trucking companies are struggling. One of the biggest, most frequent question that I have on this channel is like, hey, when is this going to end? What can we do to survive? Is it ever going to end? How will it finish? While no one knows the answer to that, uh, we all know for a fact that these crises, they come and go. And it's been always like that in trucking industry. I started driving around 2005, 2006, and it has always been like this. And then each crisis is different. Each one is specific. This one is specific because we have these high fuel prices. Okay, and it's probably one of the hardest ones, lately in the last couple of decades. Okay, but each one of them was, specific in its own way. So what can we do as a trucking company, maybe even as a dispatching company? Dispatching companies, they don't have that many expenses, but they also need to be able to survive. And then most of dispatching companies will charge a fee by percentage of the load. So if the owner operators or the carriers, they make less money, dispatchers make less money by default because they charge by percentage. So everyone is in bad shape right now. First thing that we all should do is, of course, cut down on our costs, and that's really, everyone knows that. There is really no point of saying that. But there are different ways how you can do that. Okay, so for example, if so, the best thing could be probably if you go to your bank account or bank statements, whatever you guys do, and then go back last 6 months or so, and then see what are the frequent costs that you are having, what are the subscriptions that you pay on monthly basis, what can you do without, what could you maybe lower, because remember, every dollar counts because it adds up. Like if you save money on five things, and on those five things you save like 10, 20, $50 each month, it adds up to potentially thousands in a whole year, and that will mean a lot. Okay, so if you go to last 6 months on your bank account and just look like, okay, this is how much I'm paying for internet, this is how much I'm paying for the phone, do I have two phone lines, do I use an invoicing software, load boards, what load boards do I have, do I need all of these load boards? So for each of these subscriptions, you can either try to lower the cost by cutting down on the options. Like if you have internet and maybe the provider has a little bit slower internet. Okay, if you have three phones, maybe you only need one or two phones. If you have a provider for the phone, maybe you can find better provide like a voice over IP. If you have one of those, maybe you can try to find a free one. So those kind of things, okay? So you can probably save money on that. Maybe there are some subscriptions that you don't even need, okay? Maybe you can at least cancel some of them temporarily. It doesn't have to mean that you cancel something indefinitely or forever. It can be just for a few months until this passes by, and then you can just go back to that subscription, okay? Insurance, depends if your trucking company, you have insurance for your trucks or for your office, for any kind of equipment. You can try to call around and see if someone can give you a big deal, okay? You never know. For fuel, if you are using fuel cards, you can always try to shop around for better fuel cards with better savings. I work with RTS. They have a Fleet One fuel cards. Link is in description of this video, and the phone number too. You can try to save money that way. Factoring company, you can always try to save money with factoring company. As you guys know, I work with RTS too, and there is a phone number for that as well in description of this video. So you can save money on insurance a lot, okay? And with fuel cards, with discounts, same thing, okay? Now, if you have equipment, and then maybe you have some equipment that's sitting, or some equipment that's maybe not even making you money, maybe you're even at a loss. Right now, it's hard to buy a truck. It's hard to buy a trailer. You can't even find them. And when you find them, they're very expensive, okay? But if you have something that's sitting around, maybe you can consider selling it. If maybe you have a trailer that's worth much more than you think, or a truck. I was surprised when I looked up how much my equipment was. I didn't even know it was that much. So you can easily sometimes you can maybe like $20,000 or $50,000 on piece of equipment if you have that. And like I said, it might not be smart to sell it because it's hard to get it back or to buy a new piece of equipment, But if that means, if those $20,000 or $30,000 mean that you're going to have a working capital, that you have money to pay bills for next year or so, then it might be wise to look into that option, okay? To sell some of the equipment that you have. Not only will it lower down your monthly payments. For example, you have something that you pay $1,000 on every month or $2,000, so that expense is going to be gone. You're not going to need it anymore. The insurance is going to go down as well, but you will also get some cash that you can use, okay? If you have people working in your office, you have people working for you, you can always consider cutting down on hours or letting someone else go. I know it's not a cool thing to do, but if you have to do it in order to save the company, that's it comes with a business. It comes with the idea of being your own boss, having your own company, and those kind of decisions. It's always fun to hire someone, and it's always a nice thing, to have someone work for you and pay them, and they are part of your company, and you're doing something good. But it's part of the business also when you have to let someone go due to not being able to pay them. Okay, so it's what it is. That's also your own decision that you have to make. And then also one of the most important persons that work for your company is you. So even if you don't have any employees, you still have you. You still have your salary, your profit. So if you can manage somehow to cut down your salary, maybe not pay yourself for a couple of weeks or a month or so, maybe do every other paycheck, that will also save a lot of money uh, to your company, because this way you're saving cash. Okay, so whatever you pay yourself, like I don't know, like $1,000 a week, 2,000, 1,200. It doesn't matter. It's going to be cash that you're saving. You're not gonna pay yourself. The company is gonna be saving money. If you can manage that like that, then it's really great. And now the other thing that comes with that is your personal finance. Like I said, I'm not a financial expert. I used to read a lot about personal finance, and I even had a blog a long time ago about that, and I tried to write about different ways of saving money. So I kind of like talking about that. But like I said, don't listen to me. Find a financial expert, or read a book or whatever you need to do in order to save money in your household. But if you have a company, especially a small company, it's tightly connected to your personal finances. Sometimes you are maybe even buying things for your personal life from your company, and you're spending money from the company, maybe thinking about not doing that anymore. But then also, when it comes to giving yourself a certain amount of money for your salary, that in order to give yourself a smaller salary, you have to start saving money at home, and your family also has to be on board for that, because if they are not on board, then it doesn't make sense to do it. Doesn't make sense that you're the only one that's saving money and trying to cut down expenses, but your family is just acting like nothing is going on. So your family has to be aware, or your dependents, whoever you share your salary with, they have to be on the same page with you, and they have to be aware of the situation of what's going on in trucking industry, that everything is bad, and that no big projects for future, no vacations, no big purchases. Even if you have to sell some things at home, like you have a car with a big payment, or a property or something that will cut down your expenses, and maybe even bring some money, and maybe you can even invest that money into the company. Write it down, and then when the times become better, when it starts picking up, then you can take that money back from your company. Another thing that you can do is work from home. If you have an office, yeah, I know some of you already work from home, but if you have an office, maybe you can consider working from home. That will save you not just on the rent, but on the subscriptions that you have to pay in the office, maybe internet or electricity, phone, trash, anything like that. It will save you some money. It will also save you money with your gas. You don't have to drive to office anymore. Food, you don't have to buy lunch. Go out and buy lunch. You can eat food at home. So that could also help you save money. Another thing is that you can maybe get a loan. I don't like loans, especially these loans with like cash loans, because they have a big high interest rates. But I know people that have done it. I've done it a long time ago myself too, when we had past bad market times, whatever you want to call it. And these loans will help you like get by. And then what's not good about these loans is that you have to pay them out back quickly, and these payments can be very high. But another thing is that you pay them out in like 6 months or 8 months, and then you're done with it. It doesn't take 20 years to pay it off. So that might be a good thing too. Okay, or maybe like a line of credit or something, or borrow money from someone. Credit cards are also not a good thing to use because they have a lot of interest rates, and you just keep swiping, and then then you end up paying them in like 10 years, and that's really not a good way. But if you have to do it sometimes for like equipment repair or something, then it's what it is. It's part of the business. No one likes to do it, but that's totally up to you. Another thing that you can do is when you book loads, uh, always try to get more money. You know, it's we are always negotiating as dispatchers and brokers, and we try to get more money anyway. Um, but if you can get, like depending how many loads you book a day or a month or a year, and if you do a simple math, and then if you can get $50 for each load more, or $25 or $20, whatever. Like I'm not even talking about 100 or 200, $500. Like when you negotiate, you get more money. But when you get to that small point of like, let's just say a broker has a load for $1,400, and you're asking them for 18. They're like, I can do 15, maybe 1550, 1550. Even like if they say like 1550 is my absolute best, even if you try to go a little bit further and tell them, hey, here's the reason why I need 16 or 1575. Truck is empty, we have tolls, fuel prices, we'll do a good job, we'll update you on time. If you can get $25 or $30 for each one of these loads, it adds up, times 7 days a week, times 52 weeks a year, it will add up, okay? So that way, you can make more money. Okay, so these are small things that you can do. But the biggest thing, in my opinion, is having a positive mindset. If you don't have a positive mindset, then it's not gonna work. If you're constantly worrying, like when you go to bed and you're like, man, what's gonna happen? Is this gonna go all down? So what? Even if it does, so what? It's not the end of the world. You can always start something new and try to do something new. It will pick up eventually. Okay, but we don't want that. We invested a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of sweat, a lot of nerves into this business, or you and your business, and we don't want to give up. Okay. We want to continue. We want to stay positive. So if you stay positive, good things will come to you by itself. If you are negative, negative things will start happening to you. Okay, and then even if it's a good thing or something neutral or whatever, you will still see it as a negative thing, because that's how your mindset is set. Have a positive mindset. That will change everything. Go out for a walk, okay? Take a shower, go for a run, go out to nature, take a weekend trip with your family away for something. You have, clear your mind. Don't act on an impulse. Like if you see something, it's going bad. Oh yeah, I'm gonna finish. This is it. I'm done. No, don't. That's the worst decisions that are made are the ones that are done on an impulse, like okay, I'm gonna do right now, or I'm gonna tell it to that again. No, think about it. Go out for a walk, let it sit for a couple of days. Talk to someone, ask your wife or your husband, your friend, sister, brother, parent, like tell them, hey, here's what's going on, and ask them like, hey, what do you think I can do? What do you think I should do? They will be pleased that you're coming to them for an advice, and they will try to give you the best advice that they can. And maybe they see something that you don't see. Maybe it's something so obvious that you have been not seeing it this whole time, that will help you. I know when I talk to my wife, and then she's like, oh yeah, well, what about this? And I'm like, man, yeah, that's right. I didn't even think about that. And it's always like whatever you're doing in life, like not just business, like whatever you're working on something, you're trying to fix something, it keeps breaking, you can't do it, and you're frustrated, and then someone walks up and says, hey, well, what about this? And then you're like, oh man, I didn't even see that. And that's normal. It happens to everyone. So if you talk to someone, maybe hire a business expert, maybe hire an advisor, bookkeeper, someone, and that will teach you how to handle your money, because me and you, we are not financial experts, okay? We don't work with money, we work with trucks, okay? everything we know, this is all street knowledge usually, you know, unless you specialized in some kind of financial sector or something. But usually we are street smart, okay? But maybe we need someone that will teach us being school smart, like go by the book, this is how it's done, this is how the financials are done. And then with financials, it always takes a while, you can't do something overnight. It will always take months or years to do it the right way, but then in the long term you will see the results. So maybe hire someone that can give you an advice about that, about finances and those kind of things, or even watch a YouTube video. So hopefully this helped you, and it helped me a little bit too, because I got things out of my chest. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, come back for more. My name is Anis. This is Never Stop Trucking. I'll see you around.